This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News, News Free Dixie for the 21st century.
So, caller, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Yes, sir. Say what you got to say.
Oh, this is Brother Ron from We All Be down in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. All right, Brother Ron. You right on time. Let's give us a little bit of time to get this business out the way, brother. And you came in right on time.
Yes, sir. I heard race war. I said, hey, this my time.
I just wanted to add something from the news, and maybe you have some comment on this, Brother Ron. Julius Garvey, the son of black nationalist Marcus Garvey, is facing the lobby of a Washington hotel. His collar is starched, his glasses are polished. He holds a stack of flyers displaying photos of his strange father under a headline that reads, "The Exoneration of Marcus Garvey." Julius Garvey, 83-year-old vascular surgeon, is on a mission to clear his father's name, tarnished by 1923 federal mail fraud conviction that he believes was bogus. He was the country's first African-American president to pardon the fiery founder of Universal Negro Improvement Association. Marcus Garvey, who died in 1940, led a Back to Africa campaign that made him a seminal figure in the push for racial and economic justice for black people. Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be on. Yeah, it's an honor to be on here tonight.
Okay. Well, it's an honor to have you. And just want to let the people know that you are from We All Be Radio. And I've listened to you. I've listened to some of the interviews you've done with Judge Joe Brown. I've listened to some of the interviews you've done with Dick Gregory and others. And I really appreciate the work that you're doing. So let's start off by saying what it is you do, where you're coming from, where you're located, and why you got into this business of online radio.
Yes, sir. I want to say once again, it's an honor to be on Brother Haja on your platform. It's so important. To paraphrase Brother Malcolm X, the brother said something about the race war y'all was talking about earlier. He said something to the effect that anything south of Canada is the South. So we all in the South. I'm in Memphis. I'm in Lower South, but we still in the South.
Right.
We All Be is a multimedia platform. I started almost 10 years ago. I started actually 10 years ago. I believe that knowledge is the currency of the universe. You cannot have a real movement without information, because the people must know before they can act. And there's no greater educator than the press, supposedly, in this day and age. But you look at all our leadership in our history as black people, a lot of them overstood the power of media, whether it be Marcus Mosiah Garvey with his Negro World and the stuff he was able to do back in the 20s and the 1910s, or even Brother Malcolm coming up with Muhammad Speaks, or Sister Ivy Wells in Memphis with her free speech and headlight, or Brother Frederick Douglass or the African Freedom Journal. In every facet of our movement, we overstood the power of controlling our story, of telling our narrative from our perspective. So I actually looked into this. I actually met Warren Williams at a Black History function at FedEx at the corporate headquarters here in Memphis back in 2006, Warren Williams. And I had a conversation with him on the phone for about 10 minutes because I told him I was concerned about how black people were being portrayed in our local media. And he basically told me, man, brother, you got to start a radio show or a TV program. He didn't tell me how to do it. He just told me I need to find a place or way to start it.
Sure.
So we can have a voice and a platform. So about December 2006, I did find a platform via Blog Talk Radio. My mom was invited to speak on a sister's show on Blog Talk Radio back in December 2006. I signed up for Blog Talk January 2007. Started doing shows with my friends. I thought it was important that the conversations we were having as private citizens, quote unquote, should be catching for posterity, because we were talking about some interesting things that could be relevant to our times. So I started out with them on a weekly, on every Sunday. Then they kind of fell off and started hitting the internet. I was on MySpace at the time, and eventually Facebook, and also through the websites online, just emailing anybody and everybody who might be interested in appearing on my platform. And then that kind of led to a chance to do community TV, public affairs TV in my local town of Memphis, Tennessee. And I created a nonprofit 3 years ago. And basically, we're just involved in all facets of storytelling. It's not just about traditional media, but it's more important that we tell our story by any means necessary. I'm going to shut up. I'm sorry for taking so long to respond, but
no problem at all. No problem at all. One of the things that I am concerned about as we go forward, especially in these times, considering the regime that will be coming in, is that we learn to control the narrative, brother. I monitor, doing this work. I monitor a lot of online radio, online communications, and I also monitor the white right,
right.
The alt right, or whatever they call themselves these days. And I pay particular attention to what they're saying because I want to be able to deconstruct, for lack of a better word, their narratives. I don't want to be running from them or feeling guilt or whatever or aversion to them. I want to be able to smash them, to just take them apart.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And
New York City, you're watching astrology, numerology now.
So I think that
Monday, October 31st, 2016. You already know.
Are you still there, buddy?
I'm still here. I'm just listening in. It's like we're in Mercury retrograde right now, so a lot of things can happen.
Okay. All right. So do you understand what I'm saying? The importance, we'll talk about the importance of communication, the importance of controlling the narrative, and the importance of speaking truth to power, the importance of educating one another through this particular tool, the web, and just a number of things. But can you respond to that, please?
Yeah, I was saying today that we need an alt black media counter, alternative black media counter. We need a race beat because 60 years ago we had a race beat. If it wasn't for the race beat with the black newspapers, we would never know about Emmett Till. John H. Johnson publishing that photo of him in his open casket through his Jet magazine platform. But we need a race beat again. We need an alt black media movement.
Okay, I hear you loud and clear, and I agree. And the reason I talked about monitoring the networks of the alt right and the white supremacist groups and stuff like that, Stormfront and all these different groups and stuff, is to be able, like I said, to take them apart and to be able to, to be able to educate the public as to the proper response to these people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in just letting, the snake just lie there. He got to move or I got to move or something got to happen. But I don't believe in just letting it lie there. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Because you saying that because you understand the nature of the snake.
Exactly.
You can't afford for it to lie there because it'll strike.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what are you doing now, and what are you looking forward to doing, and how are you going to advance what you're doing with We All Be Radio?
That's a great question because that's why I created the nonprofit umbrella, the We All Be Group Incorporated. Right now, we're working on a big project for 2017. I just came from the Memphis National Cemetery, where the victims of the Fort Pillow Massacre are buried. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Fort Pillow Massacre.
But I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, it occurred in the Civil War, April 12th, 1864, at Fort Pillow, Tennessee, Hennon, Tennessee, where Aldous Haley is from, his childhood home. And basically what happened was that black Union soldiers guarding Fort Pillow, they surrendered to Confederate forces or tried to surrender. And the Confederate forces were led by General Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was a prominent slave trader, a Memphis politician, and also the founder and first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay.
And he's actually buried in Memphis right now under a big horse statue with his wife remains, just blocks away where we murdered Dr. King and where we burned down Ida B. Wells Barnett's newspaper offices on Beale Street. So he's in that proximity. So he told his soldiers no quarter, meaning no surrender. So when the black soldiers tried to surrender, they were slaughtered. They were massacred. And also the black women and children staying at the fort were massacred. I mean, they had reports from Congress. They did a primary resource. They actually interviewed the survivors, the victims, and the participants of the Fort Pillow Massacre. It was one case where an 18-month baby was gutted out just for being a baby. You know, the Confederate just gutted the baby guts. And then they buried men and women alive. They skinned black men alive. They put them on fire, gouging people's eyes out. It was horrible. You read all this stuff online from primary sources. But, you know, for a long time, they tried to contest the fact that it was a massacre and that Nathan Bedford Forrest was a war criminal. And Nathan Bedford Forrest is interesting because he come from the backwoods of Tennessee, self-made millionaire through slavery, and is considered a military genius. His tactics on horseback is still studied. Cavalry maneuvers are still studied at military academies around the world. And he's a state hero of Tennessee. The state acknowledged his birthday as a state holiday in Tennessee. So we're trying to do something with the community. We're working with activists, grassroots, also institutions, and also other entities at the local and national level to take back the narrative on the Fort Pillow massacres of victims, to bring honor to those black men, women, and children that were sacrificed at the altar of white supremacy. So we're working with the victims' family, as well as different people in the community and outside the community, to bring more recognition to what happened April 12th, 1864, and to create a new narrative. Because what they're doing right now in Memphis, see, you got white folks around the country by the thousands that come down to Memphis the Sunday before his birthday on July 13th to pay homage to the white man and his wife at his grave/horse statue park. And so I went to those events twice in the last 2 years. And one white man who was a college professor, he told me, "Look, Brother Ron, no disrespect to y'all. Why don't y'all create your own thing? Why y'all worry about our freedom of speech and assembly? Create your own narrative and push that. Because right now they're trying to sell him as a civil rights leader. Because he gave one speech to a black organization called the Pole Bearers Association back in July of 1875. So they try to say he's a civil rights leader, but he actually probably was the father of the private prison industry too, because after the war, he got a contract to use black prison labor to grow cotton and raise hogs on this place called President's Island, which is located in the Mississippi River between Tennessee and Arkansas. So I'll shut up on that. But right now we're trying to do some type of justice in terms of telling the truth about what happened to our people in this genocide experiment known as America.
But okay, so we have Brother Ron Hurd back on the line. Brother, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I don't know what happened. I know we're in Mercury retrograde, so anything can happen right now.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. So I blame it on the Mercury retrograde.
Okay. So anything can happen. So I won't get the heebie-jeebies or nothing. But anyway, go right here, brother. Finish your thought wherever you were.
I don't know. I don't know how far I got along before I got cut off.
Well, you got up into we were talking about the importance of black radio. We were talking about the importance of black communications and monitoring, certain things and being able to respond to certain types of narratives and stuff like that, and educating one another and things like that.
Okay, yeah. I just think it's very important that people, no matter where you are, start doing something, because for every action there's a reaction, and it's important that we get ahead of this thing, because words create worlds. Like somebody told me that words create worlds. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the importance of that.
Okay.
Words of power.
Yeah.
Now, I know you've been paying attention to some of the selections, and if you were listening earlier, you probably heard we talk about some of the selections that Donald Trump is making for his cabinet, and the types of backgrounds that some of them have. Really right wing or supremacist type ideas and ideology. How do you feel? What do you feel in your gut, in your key about what is coming in the next 4 years? How do you feel about it, and what do you think our response can be or should be?
Those are great questions. I look at what Donald Trump is doing. He's not putting together a cabinet. He's putting together a board of directors. I mean, he's running this country like a business, which it is a business. His republic is a corporation. You know what I'm saying? America is big business, and he's running it like a big business. And to me, it doesn't really matter who's president. They can make a dog the president because ain't no president in history that really did anything to really empower black people in a way. And like Frederick Douglass said it best, power concedes nothing without a demand. And really, their ancestors have showed us the blueprint to how to deal with a president, whether it be Frederick Douglass or Booker T. Washington or Mary McLeod Bethune or even somebody like Whitney Young, who was able to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What is the blueprint?
Well, you know, don't dismiss them. Don't be so hesitant to meet with them and to tell them how you really feel. The reason why Donald Trump was elected because he was saying things that folks thought or said behind closed doors. It was not politics as usual. And what's interesting about Donald Trump is he's not a traditional conservative. He's been a Democrat for most of his life, and he's related to Hillary Clinton. They're cousins. So, you know, all of them are related. Like Barack Obama supposedly related to Cheney and Bush and Lyndon B. Johnson and Harry Truman and Brad Pitt. You know, this is what they say. John D. Rockefeller is related to Jesse James. So they all a part of this little thing, this bloodline thing. So what I'm saying with us is don't be afraid. This could be some of the greatest years of our lives as black people because we are never better than when we got to deal with ourselves. We got to know thyself, be yourself, and do for self right now. And sometimes you got to be forced to do the right thing for yourself. And what I was saying about Whitney Young, you know, he was hesitant to deal with Richard Nixon, the former president of the Urban League. He presented before Nixon his ideas and what he needs for the Urban League. And Richard Nixon ended up giving him more money than Johnson and Kennedy combined. Richard Nixon gave the Urban League $28 million. But also Richard Nixon, not only is he the father of affirmative action, but he also created a war on drugs. So when you deal with the power structure, you are dealing in contradiction. You know, they give you one thing and they'll take away another thing with the other hand.
Mm-hmm. And it's important that we also recognize that we should not expect to be educated by those in power.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not their job. Educating ourselves is our job. And we really got to attend to it. And these are excellent opportunities as far as the technological advances are concerned. These are excellent opportunities for us to do so.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that we need. Sister asked you about the blueprint, but there's a lot of stuff that we need to examine as we go forward. I mean, the blueprint is there. One of the things that I find, Brother Ron, and just going to talk about, you know, those of us in nationalist perspective, the thing is, what I find, and I'm 70 years old, so I've been out here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I find is that we tend to go over the same old. And one of the things that it says, one of the things that people say is you can't do the same old thing and expect different results. Okay,
that's called insanity.
And it's called insanity. Mm-hmm. And so we need to lift ourselves constantly. Lift ourselves. You know what I'm saying? we need to be up on our history, no doubt, but we also need to be up on world history, you know, and understand that things happen in a certain length of time, and it's not that this didn't happen just willy-nilly, 1, 2, 3, and you know, this took like, you know, hundreds of years and hundreds of years and thousands of years for certain things to become put in place, and so it might take that long for us to go forward, but we need to be constantly going forward. And not, you know, putting ourselves at a disadvantage. You read me?
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we will begin to do some of those things that you're speaking about as a move forward agenda.
Right.
Because we can't keep talking.
Right. Exactly. Well, we got to do. We got to talk.
Time. Yeah.
We got to pray and do.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe in doing. And I do as much as I can in the way I can, you know, to promote and to go forward with ideas, you know, like working in my community, you know, doing work in the community, which we've been doing since about 1985, and before that, my wife was doing it. But you know, we do community gardening, and we work with youth in the community and stuff like that. I mean, there's always an opportunity to do something, and I would like at this point to hear some things about what you're doing in the community. You talked about a not-for-profit and some things like that. I'd like to hear more about that.
I appreciate it. I want to commend you for what y'all been doing for the last 30 plus years. It's so important right now that Black folks, we must learn how to control our food and education. You can't talk about revolution while being able to control your food and your education. These are important things because Malcolm said only a fool will let their enemies be the primary educators of their children. And this is why we got what we got now. So it's very important what y'all doing. I want to commend y'all on that. And I do have a nonprofit, the We All Be Group Incorporated, as an umbrella organization. We're involved in 3 areas of human activity, educational empowerment and enrichment, social entrepreneurship, and also cultural awareness and preservation from the African American point of perspective. So what we're doing now, we're trying to reclaim the narrative on the Fort Pillow massacre. I don't know if I got cut out. I got cut out probably around that time, where you had 300 Black Union soldiers and Black women and children massacred by Confederate forces led by the future Grand Wizard of the KKK, the first one, Nathan Bedford Forrest. So we're in the process with local community activists, artists, grassroots organizations, educational institutions to get that narrative taken back to the people's point of view, from the Black point of view. So we got several events coming up around the week of April 12th, 2017. And I'm very excited about that because we got to be hands-on, because for every action, there's a reaction. And this is a challenge to white supremacy racism. We cannot take this line down unless we're dead. But even then, the ancestors are really active right now. I believe the ancestors out there whispering in our dreams and in our ears. The time is now.
Okay, we have to go. The time has gone so quickly, but I would love to have you back again. Tell people how they can reach out to you, how they can contact you, and how they can find out more about We All Be Radio.
I try to do it in like a minute or 2.
Yeah.
All right, man. Okay, they can call my phone number. My personal phone number is area code 901-299-4355. 901-299-4355. And also email weallbe, that's one word, WEALLBE @gmail.com. And you go on to youtube.com and just type in We All Be TV, and I should pop up.
Thank you so much, Brother Ron Hurd. And thank you, brother. And you keep doing what you're doing, because I've seen you, and I see you a big, strong brother. So I know you ain't taking no shorts. So you keep on
yes,
doing
sir.
And we'll be in touch with you, all right?
Yes, sir. God bless. Happy holidays. We love you all madly. Keep on producing and pushing.
And take the best of care, brother.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right. So we were talking to Brother Ron Hurd,